You think you know how Ben& Jerry's ice cream is made? Think again. What I discovered inside their factory will completely change how you see your favorite pint forever. There's a secret ingredient you'd never expect. Imagine stepping into a room that smells like a mix of vanilla beans, melted chocolate, and freshly baked waffle cones. You hear the low, rhythmic churn of machines whipping cream into something magical. And just a few steps ahead, a massive conveyor belt is carrying thousands of pints of ice cream, all destined for freezers around the world. Quick question before we start: what's your dream ice cream flavor? Something that doesn't exist yet? Drop it in the comments. You might just inspire the next big hit. Our story starts in 1978. Ben Cohen and Jerry Greenfield, two childhood friends from Long Island, took a $5 correspondence course on ice cream making because they couldn't afford culinary school. With $12,000 in savings, they set up shop in a renovated gas station in Burlington, Vermont. The floor was cracked, the freezer secondhand, and the sign a little crooked. But what they lacked in equipment, they made up for in pure creativity. Ben, who couldn't smell very well due to a condition called anosmia, relied on texture to make ice cream exciting. That's why Ben& Jerry's became famous for their oversized chunks, brownies, cookie dough, peanut butter cups, the kind of mix-ins you can feel in every scoop. Their secret recipe isn't a single ingredient. It's a combination of high butterfat cream, low overrun, and big mix-ins. That means their ice cream is richer, denser, and chunkier than most brands. Even today, this philosophy is baked into every pint. Every pint begins its life far from the freezer aisle, on the rolling green hills of Vermont. Here, family-owned dairy farms supply the fresh milk and cream that make Ben& Jerry's famous. The company is part of the Caring Dairy program, meaning farmers are paid fairly and follow sustainable practices like rotating pastures and reducing antibiotics use. Each morning, gleaming stainless steel tanker trucks arrive at the factory gates carrying thousands of gallons of milk and cream. The journey is short. Most of it takes less than 40 miles, which means the milk is incredibly fresh. The faster it arrives, the fresher the flavor. Inside the factory, the milk is pumped into massive refrigerated silos, each capable of holding over 6,000 gallons. But before it can become ice cream, it goes through two crucial steps: pasteurization and homogenization. Pasteurization heats the milk to a precise temperature for a specific time, hot enough to kill harmful bacteria, but gentle enough to keep the flavor intact. Homogenization breaks down fat molecules, so the milk won't separate. Think of it as making the cream and milk inseparable, like a perfect marriage. Without these steps, the ice cream could spoil before it even hits the shelves. Next, crafting the base mix. This is where the alchemy begins. In the mixing room, enormous stainless steel vats, each the size of a small car, stand ready. Fresh milk and cream are combined with pure cane sugar and, for certain flavors, pasteurized egg yolks. The proportions are carefully measured by computer systems, but human operators oversee every batch. Get the ratio wrong, and you can ruin an entire day's production, which, at Ben& Jerry's scale, could mean tens of thousands of pints. At this point, the mixture is heated again to pasteurize the combined ingredients. Steam curls off the surface, and the sweet smell of sugar and cream fills the room. After heating, the mix is rapidly cooled to just above freezing. Cooling this fast prevents bacterial growth and preserves the silky texture. This creamy base is like a blank canvas, smooth, rich, and ready for whatever creative twist comes next. With the base mix chilled, it's time to add personality. This is the Flavor Lab's domain, where recipes are precise, but inspiration is limitless. Cocoa powder is sifted in for chocolate bases, real Madagascar vanilla beans are scraped for their tiny black specks, and fruit purees arrive in drums ready to be folded in. One key here is consistency. Your cherry Garcia needs to taste the same, whether you buy it in Vermont or Tokyo. That's why all flavors are made using exact weights, temperatures, and mixing times, down to the second. Ben& Jerry's sources: fair trade certified ingredients for staples like cocoa, sugar, bananas, and vanilla. This ensures farmers are paid fairly and environmental practices are upheld. Some flavors only appear seasonally. Think pumpkin cheesecake in the fall, while others, like half-baked, are permanent residents. Every few months, the company experiments with limited edition creations, often based on fans' suggestions. Once flavored, the base enters the continuous freezer, a machine that transforms liquid cream into soft, scoopable ice cream in under 5 minutes. Inside, frigid metal barrels and rotating blades work together, freezing the mixture while constantly scraping it to prevent ice crystals from forming. This is also where the overrun is set. Overrun measures how much air is whipped into the ice cream. Cheap brands may have 100% overrun. Half the tub is air. Ben & Jerry's keeps theirs around 20 to 30%, making the product denser, creamier, and heavier. That's why a pint of Ben & Jerry's feels weightier than most. The temperature inside these freezers can drop to minus 30 degrees Celsius, cold enough to freeze the product solid in minutes. To put it in perspective, the Waterbury factory can churn out 350,000 pints in a single day. That's enough for every person in Vermont to have more than half a pint every single day. Now comes the chunk and swirl insertion. This is the part fans dream about. The moment where ice cream becomes Ben & Jerry's ice cream. After the freezing step, the still soft mixture flows into a machine known as the chunk feeder. Imagine a conveyor belt lined with chocolate chunks, brownie bites, peanut butter cups, or cookie dough balls, all tumbling gently into the stream of ice cream. The chunk feeder is designed to distribute mix-ins evenly without breaking them apart. At the same time, swirl injectors thread ribbons of caramel, fudge, or fruit jam into the pint. Timing is critical. Inject too early, and the swirl will disappear into the base. Too late, and it won't distribute evenly. The philosophy here is simple. Every spoonful should feel like you hit the jackpot. That's why their pieces are intentionally oversized and irregular, so you can't take 2 bites without hitting something decadent. Next, filling, lidding, and packaging. In this step, the ice cream is portioned into pints by automated fillers. Each pint is sealed with a lid, stamped with a batch code, and moved to a blast freezer where the temperature plunges to minus 40 degrees Celsius to lock in texture. From there, it's boxed, loaded into refrigerated trucks, and sent to stores around the globe. Tucked away in the rolling hills of Vermont, just a short walk from the Ben & Jerry's factory, lies one of the most unusual tourist attractions in the ice cream world, the Flavor Graveyard. And yes, it's exactly what it sounds like, a real fenced-in garden filled with headstones, each commemorating a discontinued Ben & Jerry's flavor. Every grave has its own witty epitaph. Some are bittersweet goodbyes, others are playful jabs at why the flavor didn't work out. Take Peanuts popcorn, for example. It was supposed to be a fun, salty, sweet mix, but it disappeared faster than a bag of popcorn in a movie theater. Or Economic Crunch, released during the late 80s recession, which was sprinkled with chocolate-covered almonds, but just couldn't weather the economic storm. The graveyard is more than just a marketing gimmick. It's a reflection of Ben & Jerry's willingness to experiment, fail publicly, and have a laugh about it. In fact, some fans make pilgrimages here, snapping selfies with their favorite fallen flavors like wavy gravy or urban jumble. And here's a fun twist. Some flavors have actually been resurrected. If enough fans petition for it, the flavor gurus sometimes bring them back for a limited run. It's like an ice cream seance, except instead of candles and chants, there's a lot of spoon clinking. So there you have it. From fresh Vermont cream to the pint in your freezer, every step of the Ben & Jerry's process is designed to make sure no scoop is boring. Now I want to know, if you could invent the next Ben & Jerry's flavor, what would it be? Tell me in the comments. And if you love getting an inside look at how your favorite foods are made, hit subscribe. We've got more delicious behind-the-scenes tours coming your way.